অথচ আপনারা অবশ্যই এটা স্বীকার করবেন, সাম্প্রতিক অতীতে আমাদের যে টেকনোলজিক্যাল যে ডেভেলপমেন্ট হয়েছে সেটা কিন্তু একেবারেই কম নয়। বাট দুর্ভাগ্য হলেও সত্য যে এই ইনোভেশন বা ইনভেনশন গুলোর কোনো আমাদের কাছে স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স নেই, এর কোনো রেকর্ড নেই, এবং অবশ্যই কপিরাইট রেজিস্ট্রেশন নেই। তো এই বিষয়ে যখন matters.com এর কর্ণধার যে মিস্টার বিল্লা বা মিস্টার বিল রাসেল আমার সাথে দেখা হয়, কথা হয়, তখন আমি ওনার সাথে কথা বলি। অ্যাকচুয়ালি যে এই ফিল্ড গুলোতে আমাদের একটা অ্যাওয়ারনেস এর খুব বেশি দরকার ছিল। আমরা লাস্ট 5 মান্থস আগে একটা প্রোগ্রাম করেছিলাম এবং বেসিসের সাথে জয়েন্টলি, এবং বিল রাসেলই এটা করেছিলেন। কিন্তু তারপরেও খুব একটা আশাপ্রদ চিত্র দেখতে পাইনি। সম্প্রতি বিল রাসেলের সাথে আমার কথা হওয়ার পরে উনি আমাকে এই প্রথম যে অনলাইন কোডিং বুট ক্যাম্পের কথা বলার পরে আমি দেখলাম যে এটাতে দুটো বিশেষভাবে বাংলাদেশের জন্য খুব ইউজফুল এবং এফেক্টিভ হতে পারে। যে আমরা যদি এরকম একটা অনলাইন বুট ক্যাম্প প্রশিক্ষণের আয়োজন করি এবং এটাতে যদি সবাই পার্টিসিপেট করে এবং এটা যদি এফেক্টিভ হয়, সাকসেসফুল হয়, তখন পরবর্তী ধাপে আমরা আরো বড় কিছু নিয়ে কাজ করতে পারবো। তো এই বিষয়ে আমি কম্পিউটার কাউন্সিল বা আমাদের আইসিটি ডিভিশনের সাথেও যোগাযোগ রক্ষা করে আমাদের একটা ড্রিম আছে। ড্রিমটা হচ্ছে যে, এখনো আপনারা হয়তো জানেন, প্রাইভেটলি আইপি ইনস্টিটিউট হয়েছে বলে আমি জানি না, কিন্তু সরকারি ভাবে তো হয়নি। এরকম একটা আইপি ইনস্টিটিউট করার একটা এই যে উদ্যোগ ডিপিডিটি মানে শিল্প মন্ত্রণালয়ের ট্রেডমার্ক অধিদপ্তর থেকে নেওয়া হয়েছিল, এবং এটা কিন্তু খুব বেশি কাজ কিন্তু এগোয়নি। তো আমার উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে যে আমরা শুরু করি, এই সাকসেস যদি আমরা কাউকে দেখাতে পারি, সরকার এটা বুঝতে পারেন এবং আমাদের মন্ত্রণালয় বা রিলেটেড ইনস্টিটিউট যে প্রতিষ্ঠানগুলো সেটা বুঝতে পারে, তাহলেই আমরা তাদের কাছে যেতে পারবো এবং তাদের সাপোর্ট পাবো, এবং আলটিমেটলি বাংলাদেশে সরকারি ভাবে আমরা আইপি ইনস্টিটিউট গড়ে তুলতে পারবো। তো এই উদ্দেশ্যকে সামনে নিয়ে যখন অনলাইন কোডিং বুট ক্যাম্পের কথা আমাকে বিল রাসেল বললেন, আমি তখন খুব আগ্রহী হলাম এবং এই ব্যাপারে ওনার সাথে আমার একটা অনেকটা কন্ট্রাক্টের মতোই হয়েছে, এবং উনি আমাদের কাছে একটা ইমেজ সফটওয়্যার খুব আমাদেরকে তৈরি করে দিয়েছেন, এবং ওনার প্রতি আমার একটা আস্থা বিশ্বাস তৈরি হয়েছে। এবং আজকে এখানে এসে আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে এখানে শুধু নরওয়ে থেকে ডক্টর তালাল এবং প্রফেসর আক্তার এবং আমাদের সফটওয়্যার যে স্পেশালিস্ট অনেকেই, রিজওয়ানার ওনার কথা শুনতে পেলাম। তো আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে আমরা আমাদের শুরুটা নিশ্চয়ই একটা ভালো প্ল্যাটফর্ম দিয়ে আমরা শুরু করতে যাচ্ছি। তো আমি আপনাদের সবাইকে এই প্রোগ্রামে স্বাগত জানাই, এবং পরিশেষে আপনাদের কথা শোনার পরে আমি এন্ড অফ দ্য প্রোগ্রাম আমি আমার আনুষ্ঠানিক বক্তব্য রাখবো। আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত, এবং এই পর্যায়ে আমি বিল রাসেলকে অনুরোধ জানাবো এই প্রোগ্রামের এই ট্রেনিং প্রোগ্রামের ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা ওনার পক্ষ থেকে তুলে ধরার জন্য। ধন্যবাদ।
ধন্যবাদ কপিরাইট রেজিস্ট্রার জাফর রাজা চৌধুরী আপনার সুন্দর মূল্যবান বক্তব্যের জন্য। আমি এই পর্যায়ে আমার স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স তুলে ধরার আগে আমি স্বাগতম জানাতে চাচ্ছি। I'm welcoming Mr. Ariel Fardman. I welcome you to our show. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, we are fine. We are good. Okay, so Ariel.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have few questions to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So at first, introduce yourself, and then we will come back to you about our questions, okay?
Okay. So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we all can hear you okay, yeah.
Great. So, my name is Ariel Feldman. I'm 36 years old. Uh, I'm a software programmer engineer. I've been programming since I was 7 years old. I'm a self-taught programmer. I never had any degree, any official education, and I started doing freelancing about a year ago, mainly on Fiverr platform, and have been doing really well, relatively. So when I heard that such good initiative, such as the Go Academy, is starting in Bangladesh, I was really happy to be invited to give a few words of to share a few words from my experience. Yeah, and I'm happy to share whatever I can.
Yeah, thank you, Ariel Ferdman, for your speech. So at the moment, we have our another guest, Mr. Mahbubuzzaman Bhai. Mahbubuzzaman Bhai, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Hello.
I mean, if you mean me, yes, absolutely, I can hear you.
Yeah. So welcome to our program. How are you? And how are you?
থ্যাংক ইউ না সবাইকে অসংখ্য শুভেচ্ছা এবং এই প্রোগ্রামে স্বাগতম। আমার নাম অ্যাকচুয়ালি মাহাদিউজ্জামান। আমি নিউ ইয়র্কে থাকি, আই মিন নিউ জার্সিতে থাকি আমেরিকাতে, এবং আমি আই ওয়ার্ক ফর আমাজন ওয়েব সার্ভিসেস, AWS। আই থিঙ্ক দিস ইজ এ ভেরি গুড ইনিশিয়েটিভ এই কারণে, কারণ আমাদের অনেক সময় দেখা যায় যে আমরা অনেক একটু পুরনো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, প্রোগ্রামিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ গুলো নিয়ে কাজ করি। ওগুলাতে কাজ করার সবচেয়ে বড় সমস্যাটা হলো যে ওগুলা এতই পুরনো যে ওইটা দিয়ে আমরা যা বানাবো এটা স্কেলেবল না, সিকিউরড না, এবং অনেক অনেক ধরনের গ্যাপ থাকে। নতুন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ গুলোর সুবিধাটা হলো অল্প কোড লিখতে হয়, উই হ্যাভ টু রাইট এ স্মল নাম্বার অফ কোডস, অ্যাজ ওয়েল অ্যাজ দিজ আর রিয়েলি একদম নতুন ধরনের লেটেস্ট জিনিসগুলার জন্য আমরা সব ব্যবহার করতে পারি। যেমন হোয়াট ডু আই মিন বাই দ্যাট, যেমন আমাদের সোশ্যাল নেটওয়ার্ক গুলো আছে, সবগুলোর সাথে খুব সহজেই ইন্টিগ্রেট করা যায়। বিভিন্ন ধরনের মোবাইল ফোন আছে, সেগুলোর সাথে খুব সহজেই ইন্টিগ্রেট করা যায়। তারপরে আমরা শুধুমাত্র ট্রানজ্যাকশনই করব না, আমরা অ্যানালাইজও করতে পারবো, আমরা প্রিডিক্ট করতে পারবো। তার মানে এটা কি, আমরা AI, ML, মেশিন লার্নিং, আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্স এগুলো নিয়ে অনেক কথাবার্তা বলি। হাউ ডু উই ডু দোজ থিংস? সুবিধা হলো এই ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজগুলোর মাধ্যমে যদি আমাদের অ্যাপ্লিকেশনটা আমরা লিখি, তাহলে আসলে আমাদের জন্য অনেক সহজ হয়ে যাবে। যেমন আগে যেই জিনিসটা করতে আই নো প্র্যাকটিক্যালি, আমার প্র্যাকটিক্যাল এক্সপেরিয়েন্স আছে। আই এম নট এ কোডার, আমি আসলে ডেভেলপার না, কিন্তু আই হ্যাভ ওয়ার্কড উইথ দেম। এগেইন মাই ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড ইজ নট কোডিং, ইটস অ্যাকাউন্টিং, বাট আমি গত 30 বছর যাবত এই লাইনে, আই এম ওয়ার্কিং ইন 30 years in IT, especially on security, networking, and cloud, this type of areas, and innovation, another area. So what I found out is that if we don't have a good, extremely good foundation, this is where everything breaks down. A language that we're going to choose, I mean, Golang is one of them, Python, some of those things that we're going to choose, we need to know that. In addition, শুধুমাত্র এখানে কিন্তু আমি বিল্লা ভাই বা বিল রাসেল ভাই যে জিনিসগুলো শেখাচ্ছেন, সেটার মধ্যে একটা সবচেয়ে বড় জিনিস আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে ইট ডাজন্ট অনলি টিচ ইউ প্রোগ্রামিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, ইট ইজ গোনা টিচ ইউ সাম, যেমন কোড রিপোজিটরি, কিভাবে কোড পাবলিশ করতে হয়, যেমন গিট, ইউ গোনা বি লার্নিং অ্যাবাউট গিট, হোয়াট ইজ দ্যাট, দেয়ার আর আ ফিউ আদার থিংস, যে এই পুরো জিনিসটা লাইফ সাইকেলটা করতে গেলে হোয়াট আর দ্য থিংস দ্যাট ইউ অ্যাকচুয়ালি নিড টু নো। সো ইটস নট অ্যাবাউট ইনোভেশন, আমরা অনেক সময় দেখি, অর নট অ্যাবাউট রাইটিং কোড, it doesn't mean anything if you write a code. Really, it doesn't mean anything. কারণ কেউ একটা বলে দিল করে দিলাম, এটা কিন্তু আমরা বলি মাঙ্কি সি মাঙ্কি ডু, মানে দেখলাম করলাম, তাই না? রাদার পুরো প্রসেসটা জানা থাকলে দেন আমি যখন একটা প্রবলেম দেখবো সেটা। আরেকটা জিনিস একটু বলে রাখি, যারা ডেভেলপার যারা জয়েন করতেছে, যারা সফটওয়্যার, যারা who's gonna be learning this thing, is it is not about a requirement. আমার একটা বিশাল একটা সফটওয়্যার রিকোয়ারমেন্ট ডকুমেন্টের মধ্যে লেখা থাকলে এই 5টা জিনিস করতে হবে, কিভাবে লগ ইন করতে হয়, কিভাবে এটা করতে হয়, ফরগেট পাসওয়ার্ড, দোজ ডেজ আর সো ওভার। এখন শুধুমাত্র বলবে যে আমি আমার, যেমন ফর এক্সাম্পল কপিরাইটের এক্সাম্পল দিতে পারি, আমি জানতে চাই যে এই জিনিসটা অলরেডি কপিরাইট করা আছে কিনা, দ্যাটস ইট। ওই এক লাইন লেখা থাকবে, এই ম্যাক্সিমাম এটা 1 পৃষ্ঠার বেশি হওয়া উচিত না রিকোয়ারমেন্ট ডকুমেন্টটা। ইট শুড বি লাইক এ বিজনেস রিকোয়ারমেন্ট, দ্যাট ইজ ইট, নট বিআরডি। ওই বিজনেস রিকোয়ারমেন্ট ডকুমেন্টেও ফিচার ফাংশন লেখা থাকে। নো, you have to start thinking, because people come to you for your credential, something you have seen. তার মানে লেখা থাকবে যে আমাকে একটা অ্যাপ্লিকেশন বানায় দাও যেটা এই ধরনের কাজ করে। তার মানে খুব ভেগ থাকবে, অ্যাম্বিগুইটি, ইট হ্যাজ টু বি অ্যাম্বিগুয়াস, কারণ তা না হলে আমাদের ক্রিয়েটিভিটি, ইনোভেশন আসবে না। কেউ যদি বলে দেয় যে এটা করতে হবে, দ্যাট ইজ নট ইনোভেশন, দ্যাটস অ্যাকচুয়ালি টাস্ক। হ্যাঁ, টাস্কটা যে কেউ করতে পারে। সো ওয়ান্স উই গেট দ্যাট, আমাদের চিন্তা করতে হবে, এবং উই নিড টু বি ভেরি কমফোর্টেবল উইথ বিং আনকমফোর্টেবল। তার মানে কি, আমি ভুল করব এবং আমার সেটা স্বীকারও করতে হবে, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই। কিন্তু মানুষ মাত্রই ভুল করে, ভুল করে স্বীকার করে শিখে সেটা থেকে আমি নতুন কিছু বের করে নিয়ে আসবো, দ্যাটস ইনোভেশন, দ্যাটস হোয়াট ইট ইজ অল অ্যাবাউট। কোডিং এ সবসময় ভুল থাকে, এই কারণে ডিবাগিং করতে হয়, এই কারণে কিউএ আছে, এই কারণে আমাদের ডেভেলপমেন্ট সিস্টেম আছে, স্টেজিং সিস্টেম আছে, এবং প্রোডাকশন সিস্টেম আছে। সো ইউ আর বিল্ট ইন টু প্রিভেন্ট মেকিং মিস্টেকস। সো সেই কারণে আমরা খুব, এবং দেখা গেল পুরো জিনিসটাই কোনো কাজে লাগলো না, তবুও ফাইন। দিস ইজ কল ফেইল ফাস্ট। ফেইল ফাস্ট মানে কি, আমি খুব তাড়াতাড়ি, যাতে আমি ভুল করলাম, ইমোশনাল অ্যাটাচমেন্টটার দরকার নেই। ও ভুল করছি, ঠিক আছে, ওইটা থেকে শিখে নতুন আরেকটা ভালো কিছু করব, তাতেও কোনো অসুবিধা নাই। তার মানে what I'm trying to say is that we need to be very comfortable with uncomfortableness. We can make mistake, no problem. We need to adhere to it. We need to communicative. এবং আমাদের জানতে হবে প্রসেস, মানে কিভাবে জিনিসগুলো বানাতে হয়, এবং তারপরে আমরা যে জিনিসটা বানাবো সেটাকে we just need to iterate. We cannot stop. এটা বানাইলাম তো আজকে, তার মানে এই না। অনেক বিশাল বিশাল কোম্পানি গত 5-10 বছরে যদি দেখি, একদম পুরো পৃথিবী থেকে গায়েব হয়ে গেছে। They don't exist because they have not iterated, they have not done more. So I think this is why this type of coding language, particularly this bootcamp is really important. এবং এটা খুবই শর্ট একটা জিনিস না, 12 সপ্তাহ যাবত। So I think everybody would be learning. আমরা অনেকটা আমাদের নকশি কাঁথা বানানোর মতো অল্প 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 করে, কিছুই বোঝা যাবে না, বা 12 সপ্তাহ পরে পুরো চমৎকার একটা কাঁথা হয়ে যাবে। সো আই থিঙ্ক it's really amazing thing বিল্লা ভাই করছেন বা বিল রাসেল ভাই করতেছেন। সো I encourage everybody to do that. আমি যাদেরকে চিনি, আমি তোমাদের সবাইকে বলবো যে ঝাঁপায়া পড়ো এটাতে। Whatever it is that we're going to be doing, you're going to be learning a lot. Thanks, Bilawai, and thanks for inviting me to this one. I know that I'm not contributing much, but I really appreciate inviting me for here.
Thank you, Jaman bhai. Thank you for your wonderful speech. আচ্ছা, এই মুহূর্তে আমি আমাদের উদ্দেশ্যে কিছু বলার জন্য আরিফুল হাসান অপু ভাইকে, অপু ভাইয়ের কাছে কিছু শুনতে চাচ্ছি। অপু ভাই,
যে শুনতে পাচ্ছেন আমাকে?
জি, শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
আচ্ছা, আমি তো একদম মানে সিচুয়েশন আছে, যার জন্য আমি ভিডিও অন করতে পারছি না, এর জন্য আন্তরিকভাবে দুঃখিত। তো আমি আসলে একটু আগে আমাদের প্রথম গেস্ট রাজা ভাইয়ের কথা শুনছিলাম, কপিরাইট অফিসার রেজিস্ট্রার যিনি।
আরিফ ভাই, আপনার নয়েজ আসতেছে, একটু মাইক্রোফোনটা একটু।
হ্যাঁ, এখন শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
জি জি, এখন ক্লিয়ার। জি,
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা। তো থ্যাংক ইউ আমাকে ইনভাইট করার জন্য। আমি আসলে আমাদের দুইজন শ্রদ্ধেয় ব্যক্তিত্বের কথা শুনছিলাম একটু আগে, কপিরাইট অফিসের যে রেজিস্ট্রার, ওনার কথা শুনছিলাম, রাজা ভাই, তারপর আমাদের মাহিদুজ্জামান ভাই, আমার সবসময় ফেভারিট। সো আসলে আমি খুব শর্টে বলবো, আমি আসলে মূলত এই মুহূর্তে আমি রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছি বাংলাদেশ ইনোভেশন ফোরামকে। এর বাইরেও আমি যেহেতু একটা সফটওয়্যার কোম্পানি চালাচ্ছি, সো আসলে বিশেষ করে সফটওয়্যার রিহ্যাবিং প্রোগ্রামার বা আদার কোডার যারা আছে, তাদের গুরুত্বটা আমি আসলে বুঝি, এবং ইন্ডাস্ট্রির নিডটাও কিন্তু বুঝি। একই সাথে আমি যেহেতু বেসিসের ডিরেক্টর ছিলাম আমি আগে, আমরা দেখেছি যে একই সাথে হচ্ছে যে আমরা জব পাচ্ছি না, আর আরেকদিকে হচ্ছে যে আমরা এক্সপার্ট লোক পাচ্ছি না, তো ভাইস ভার্সা। তো যার জন্য আমি বলবো যে এই ধরনের বুট ক্যাম্প খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। এবং আমরা একটু আগে যেটা বললেন যে 12 সপ্তাহের পরে হয়তো একটা ভালো কিছু আউটপুট আসবে, অথবা নাও আসতে পারে, সবার যে আসবে তা না। তো যাদের আসবে তারাও আসলে কন্টিনিউ লেগে থাকতে হবে, এবং যাদের খুব ভালো প্রজেক্ট বের হয়ে আসবে না তারাও লেগে থাকতে হবে। কিন্তু আমি মনে করি 12 সপ্তাহ আসলে খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। আমরা বাংলাদেশ ইনোভেশন ফোরাম থেকে আমরা কাজ করছি অলমোস্ট। কোন একটা সাউন্ড আসছে কোথা থেকে? আচ্ছা, তো যাই হোক, আমরা বাংলাদেশ ইনোভেশন ফোরাম থেকে আমরা মূলত ইনোভেশন কালচার নিয়ে কাজ করছি বাংলাদেশের মাঝে। তো কপিরাইট অফিসে রাজা ভাই যেটা বললেন যে কপিরাইটের ব্যাপারগুলি নিয়ে, আমি বলবো যে যেহেতু মোস্তাইন বিল্লাহ ভাই কাজ করছেন, আরো বেশি কাজ করেন। আমাদের দিক থেকে যত রকম সাপোর্ট লাগে ইনশাল্লাহ আমরা থাকবো। আর আমি আজকের প্রোগ্রামে যতজন আমাদের গেস্ট আছে এবং যারা জয়েন ফ্রম বাংলাদেশ এন্ড অ্যাব্রড, আই ওয়েলকামিং এভরিবডি। এন্ড যারা জয়েন করেছে প্রোগ্রামার হিসেবে তাদেরও অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি, এবং আপনার প্রোগ্রামের জন্য শুভকামনা জানিয়ে আমি শেষ করছি। ধন্যবাদ।
ধন্যবাদ আরিফুল ইসলাম হাসান অপু ভাই আপনার সুন্দর বক্তব্যের জন্য। এই পর্যায়ে আমি I'm welcoming our special guest Todd McLeod, Professor, California State University, Fresno, United States of America. Todd, welcome to our show. Welcome to our event. How are you?
Great. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
volume all right?
Yeah,
Yeah?
we can hear you. Yeah, thank you.
Get my microphone a little bit closer. Does everybody speak English, or do we need to have translation?
Yeah, most of our students and our guests, everybody understand English, so no worries. You can speak, no problem.
Okay, I'll try to speak slowly. Well, I want to congratulate everyone for starting this program. My friend Mostaine shared with me about this program. And so congratulations on getting this program running. And congratulations to all the students. I want to congratulate the students for taking this momentous step, this incredible step, a step forward in progressing your learning, a step forward in building your skill set, a step forward in improving your life. Every time you apply yourself to learning something, you are becoming a better person. This is one of the greatest endeavors that any of us can do with our time, is to invest in improving our skills and to invest in learning. So I congratulate you, I commend you, and I encourage you. You have a tremendous amount of people who are supporting you and who want you to succeed. And all you need to do is put in the effort every day. Just show up. Just keep doing the work. Just put one foot in front of the other. Keep taking those steps. And the number one factor which correlates with success for students, this is based upon the work of Angela Duckworth and others. And she wrote a book called Grit, G-R-I-T, Grit. And what grit means is to be persistent, to not give up, to not quit. And the number one factor which corresponds with success for students is grit, is not quitting, is not giving up. So it doesn't matter, how smart you are. If you're of average intelligence, like I am of average intelligence, on metrics where they test such things, I was always testing pretty much in the middle. It doesn't matter about your intelligence, doesn't matter about where you were born, doesn't matter who you were born to, doesn't matter if you're born on the rich side of town or the poor side of town. All that matters at this point going forward for you to succeed is that you don't quit, that you're just persistent, that you have grit. So this is the number one factor for success as students, and you're in good hands with people who have created a program to help you learn new skills. These are skills which are in demand. So if you learn these skills, you will be able to find gainful work. And when you have questions, when you need help, do not be afraid to ask. If you had all of the answers, you would not be a student. you would be a teacher, right? And truth be told, even the teachers don't have all the answers, but we have more answers than students. So when you get stuck, ask for help, ask your questions, and ask for clarification and ask for guidance, because all of these wonderful people here, they've gone into this profession of teaching because they love helping people learn. They know the power of learning. They know the power of education. So I'm excited for you that you're here. I'm excited for this program. It's wonderful to be able to come and visit with you for a moment. The way that Mustaine and I became friends was that he was one of my students. And so yeah, education and learning will take you on many great adventures, and believe in your fullest potential. You can achieve anything in life, right? You could rise from wherever you're at right now to the greatest of heights. And so I'm excited for your future and excited for your learning journey and excited for the adventure of life that lays before you. Have a positive attitude and work hard. Anybody have any thoughts or questions or want me to speak to anything in particular, let me know.
Yeah, Todd, I have a one question. So in our country, they are not familiar with Golang. Golang is new to everyone. Okay, so can you tell us can you give us any special things? Why should students learn Golang, and how they can improve if after become a good developer in Golang? So can you please guide us on this?
Sure. So in 2006 and 2007, there were a couple of individuals working at Google. And those individuals were Rob Pike, Ken Thompson, Robert Gressimer.
Yeah.
And these are some of the heavy hitters in computer science. They're some of the luminaries in computer science. They're like Babe Ruth to baseball, right? Like, I don't know if you know baseball. In India, Mustaine, what would be the analogy? Cricket? You guys are cricket fans?
Yeah, cricket and
Like
football.
who is like a legend in cricket? What's the name?
Saqib Al Hasan.
So they are like that guy to cricket. That's who Rob Pike, Ken Thompson, and Robert Gressimer are to computer science. And so these guys literally, they helped create the B programming language, the C programming language, the Unix operating system, and UTF-8 coding scheme, which is like the bedrock fundamental foundation of comp sci, those three things: Unix operating system, C programming language, and UTF-8 coding scheme. And so they were working at Google, and they were not happy with all of the other programming languages in the world. Every other single programming language in the world, they said it's not doing what we want. And so they decided to create a new programming language. So when the heavy hitters, what's that dude's name?
Saqib Al Hasan.
When the heavy hitters, when that guy, when they say we're going to create something new, you pay attention, right? And so they created this new programming language, and they started in 2007. They released it version 1 in 2013. It was created by the luminaries in computer science at one of the best software development firms in the world, Google. And that alone is what made me want to learn the language, knowing that. And so the language is used for building what Google does. And YouTube has been completely rewritten in Go. And Google is using Go extensively throughout its ecosystem. And if you look at the Stack Overflow Developer Survey, you could see it's now one of the most popular, highest paying languages. And it's demanded by industry. So it's a great language. It's widely becoming adopted. It's demanded by industry. And it's wonderful to learn, so it's a very good language. If you're learning a language for the first time, it'll teach you very good structure and very good skills for being a good programmer. So those are some of the reasons why it's good to learn Go. It's a good language. There's industry wants people who know how to use it, and there are good opportunities once you know how to use it. I had one student in America. He was making $25 USD an hour doing SQL, structured query language work, doing databases. He took 2 of my classes, He took my introduction to the Go programming language, learn how to code the Go programming language, and he took web development with Go. And both of those are on Udemy if you want to find them, Udemy. And if you need a discount access coupon, feel free to message me on Twitter. I get a few every month, and I could give them out at the beginning of every month. But he took 2 of my classes. And after taking 2 of my classes, he got a job working for Pizza Hut. It's a company in America. And he went from $25 an hour, which is $50,000 a year, to $150,000 a year, $75 an hour. He tripled his hourly wage after 2 classes.
Yeah, only 2 classes.
2 classes.
Oh, great. It was wonderful. Okay, Todd, let me introduce you with some of our guests here in this event, okay? So we have our copyright registrar, Jafar Raja Choudhury. Sir, say hi to Todd. Jafar Raja Choudhury, sir, say hi to Todd.
Todd, it's amazing to hearing you. Just I was thinking if I could have been your student, it could be a great opportunity for me. But I miss it. However, I would try to continue to be your student and welcome you. Welcome you very much to support us, to support our country. And I wish you once upon a time after this pandemic, you will be visiting our beautiful country.
Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate that. And I would love to visit and, you know, meet all of you in person and share bread together. And it would be wonderful. So thank you.
Yeah. Now, Todd, meet our professor, Dr. Talal Rahman. He is a professor from Western Norway University Applied Science, Norway. He is a professor, department head of computer science and electrical engineering and mathematical science. So, Mr. Talal, meet our special guest, Todd MacLeod, and say something to him.
Yeah, hello, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, great to see you. It's a pleasure to be in this event. Actually, I didn't know anything about it until just the day before yesterday. So when Mustaine told me about it, so I gladly accepted the fact to be in this. It's very nice to see that Mustaine could put together all different elements and start a fantastic program like this boot camp, trying to educate some of the students and teachers who actually want to program but do not have the structural programming skills and things like that definitely would be a very good chance for them to learn from this event and the 12 weeks that they are going to have. I just wanted to actually listen most of it and then see what could be contributed. In fact, it's been a while where I was away from the country, but I kept a connection to my country. And Mustaine, I really I admire this endeavor that you actually trying to connect the West to the Bangladesh. So this is one of the some kind of a dream most of us have, those who have left the country. And I really happy to see that you managed to do that. And definitely thank you to the organizer, the other part of the organizer, like Mr. Jaffer from the copyright office. He pointed a couple of things which was very interesting, considering this IPR stuff and this property rights things. And this is something that definitely has to be thought about. And sure. And then I'm very happy to see you, MacLeod. This is maybe we will have a lot of connections later once we know each other. I've been here in Norway for the last 30 years. I've been most of all my life I've been in the academics, but also I'm trying to get into this some software development companies and some investment. I'm also connected to the university in Bangladesh. I'm sitting in the board of the Stanford University, Bangladesh, and then so I have I have seen in my experience I've seen I met many students, many few companies. I met many teachers, and I'm also leading some of the department there, and I could see that what is the potential of learning this programming languages to learn to program. What I just find that this is they lack the guidance, they lack the the advancement that has taken place other part of the world, like in the West, that they this modular structures, model-based design and things. I feel that there is something that they could be taught about, and there should be some effort that you probably would like to introduce to build that the framework that they really need. I already heard that there is you are talking about that frameworks and stuff like that. So this is very good, and so I will be happy to help in any way that I can. If there is something that Mustain and your team would like to, just yeah, I think I'll just leave the to you.
Thank you, Talal Rahman, for your speech. Now, Todd, I am going to introduce with you another professor, Dr. Syed Akhtar Hussain, sir. Syed Akhtar Hussain, sir, can you hear us?
It is a pleasure, yes, and I'm very impressed. Thank you so much. Need no introduction, but I met Todd was a wonderful orators, and also Talal Rahman sir, fantastic in Norway. But I must tell you, we are a hardcore programmer. I'm coder myself for more than 35 years. I remember my first coding back in the year 1988 with C language, and that was that time there was no computer science engineering program, and in Bangladesh we really tried completely self-learning. Believe me, I appreciate this initiative. It's a great initiative because one thing is very important. I must urge that most of our young kids and the programmers who love to be the programming, they have a kind of a scary feeling about coding. They feel like scared to write some code by their own, and that kind of fearness happens when you really put enough passion in enough love for the subject like coding. I believe that this is is going to be a great session, especially the language and the time of AI. Is going to bring all of our young people, especially in Bangladesh, we are hosting World Finals this year, the 2021 World Finals of ACM ICPC programming contest will be held in Bangladesh, and our ICT division, especially, is going to sponsor. It's almost 85 nations the programming contest. We have a very, very rich number of programmers who work for problem solving. Problem solving is our core in the heart. Bangladeshis, I must tell you, the talents all around the world, they're in Facebook, they're in Twitter, they're in LinkedIn. And look at this soil. This soil itself, my friend Todd, I'm very happy to see you because your expression was wonderful. This soil, especially Bangladesh soil, highly fertile. Our people, the young people, are so talented. It is beyond your imagination, I can tell you. I know one guy who is in an extreme part where you have a very hard connectivity of internet, and just school passing boy serving having a Git repository, still not across the high school. Imagine the talents that we have. The thing that we are missing is connecting them. Believe me, Todd, I must share with you, I had a great feeling of hearing your voice and also other colleagues. But believe me, we have many talents. We hardly could reach them. We hardly could guide them. But that's somewhere this platform, I will urge that this platform create an open opportunity for those kids so that, you know, whatever sessions you have here in this platform should be able to utilize for those kids who are not able to join or who are not able to reach out on time. Perhaps they will be, you know, blessed by this knowledge, and they are self-made. Believe me, I know that guy. He sent me an email and I was surprised that he's talking about his passion and he already developed and he's serving to Canadian companies. I don't know how many such kids are on different part of the country. Todd, I will request you that you make a plan to visit this country. Soon the pandemic is over. I love to host you. I just recently moved to a university which is, I'm revamping my spirit, revamping spirit. I love programming. I can die for programming, I must tell you, because my programming passion is, there was a time, you know, Todd, that Creeper was a language. We used to design the graphical user interface on the graph paper and write down code by coordinates to produce a user interface. There was no drag and drop, and there was no such thing of magic of today. But today, what a magic we have. Everything is API, everything is connected, everything is collaborated. Such a fascinating world. Get back to my age of 16, Todd. When I do programming, I feel like, wow, I'm 16 years old boy, and still I have the same spirit of writing programs. Thank you so much, Mustaim. You actually made me proud by joining this session and giving me a chance to share my enthusiasm. I love programming. Thank you so much. Hands off. This is my campus, Todd. You make a visit. I will be happy to see you, show you around, and our thank you so much. God bless. And thank you so much, Mustain, for making such a, I'm happy also. I must mention the register of the copyright. He is a great guy. Going to conclude by saying one of his expressions. But believe me, Todd, this country is full of talents. I will tell you again and again. Thank you so much for your patience hearing.
Thank you,
Mustain.
Professor Akhtar Hussain, for your wonderful speech. Todd, now I am going to introduce you with one of our guests today, Mr. Mubir M. Choudhury. He is a co-founder and managing director of Shokriyo Technologies Limited. Mr. Mubir, welcome to our show, and please meet with Mr. Todd MacLeod and say some of your words in about our program. Please welcome.
Thanks a lot, Mustain bhai. First of all, it's an honor to become a resource person in this very I would say, an excellent initiative. And I am actually honored to be sitting in the same line of these very I would say very notable persons in their own stature, Mr. Talal Rahman, Mr. Todd MacLeod, Mr. Jafar Raja, Mr. Syed Akhtar, and Mr. and Sabir and everyone else, and Rizwana as well, who is my industry colleague. So I believe it's a great initiative, and especially when one of the previous speakers actually told that like if you hang up with any like old language, it actually reduces your efficiency. So it's extremely important that we learn new skills, we learn new languages, so that we become so that we become more efficient in our works. And interestingly, I must say that even though I'm the managing director of a technology company, but I do not know how to code. I'm a completely business guy. I have my background is in sales. My background is in customer experience management. But still, I'm leading an IT firm. The reason why Mr. Mustain Billah asked me to join this program, and I also happily obliged to be a part of it, is that I also am a management consultant as well as a soft skills trainer, corporate soft skills trainer. And when he actually asked me to be a part of this training and asked my opinion about how do I want to contribute here, the one thing I felt is that in my 7 years, my total working experience is 17 years. Of the 17 years, 10 years I spent in corporate job. And for the last 7 years, I've been working as an entrepreneur. And in this entrepreneurial life, I am actually interacting with a lot of individuals and especially developers. My overall feeling is that we as a nation overall, but particularly the developers, the developer community, we are lacking in communication skill. Maybe we know how to code, but we are not able to communicate it properly. So that's why I decided to contribute in this training program by offering them to teach on how to communicate the verbal, nonverbal skills, the verbal, nonverbal communication skills, written skills. And on top of that, I believe the most important thing that I'm going to talk to them is about how to create and maintain a positive attitude. So we can come up with all the trainings in the world. We can actually offer them, we can spoon feed them everything. But if my attitude is not right, it will not actually create any impact in my life. So that's why I believe that creating the right attitude, and like I really appreciate I was really excited to hear about Todd's student's story about from converting from $25 to $75 per hour. It was possible for his 2 training courses, but the thing is that if that individual, but I'm sure, Todd, that individual is not your only student. There are other students, obviously, right? Yeah, so why he made that 3 times jump? Why couldn't others do that? Because he had the right attitude. He took this training, he practiced, he created the skill, and then he implemented those skills in the workspace. And that's how he actually achieved this great leap. So just providing the training will not actually do. You have to practice, and to practice, you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to strive hard. If you want to come out of your comfort zone, you need to have a positive attitude. So positive attitude combined with communication skill, it will actually, and obviously the technical skill. Without the technical skill, just the communication is just jibber jabber. So combined with technical skill, combined with communication skill, and then combined with the most important part for any individual's life is the positive attitude. So I believe if we can combine these 3 attributes together, we can actually create a miracle in an individual's life. So I am actually really excited to be a part of this training, and I'm really looking forward to create some sort of impact in their lives. And I mean, if we can actually do that, that's what I believe. I mean, that's the success criteria. So I'm really looking forward to be a successful resource in this training, to contribute successfully in this training. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mubir Chaudhary, for your wonderful speech. At the moment, we have only one guest left, who is Rezwana Khan. So, Rezwana Khan, welcome to the program, and please meet our professor, Mr. Todd MacLeod, and say some words about our program, please. Rezwana Khan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustain Billah. First of all, my greetings to all of the guests, so definitely to Mr. Todd MacLeod and Mr. Talal Rahman, Mr. Jafar Raja Chaudhary, Mr. Mubir, and Ariful Islam Opu Bhai, and Akhtar Hussain Bhai. All of them are basically our industry colleagues, and the new one, definitely I hope to work more with you. Thank you very much, Mustain Bhai, again. First of all, I am very much honored to join this event. And if I can give, minimum input for the industry, because, this is the most important thing that for technology, we need resources, right? And Bangladesh is full of, we can make resources basically, because our strength is our population. But yes, we have to create our resources from this population. We have young generation. The youth are our energy and our main strength, but we need to guide them. And from the industry part, as I'm from industry, so from Bangladesh also, what we are, first of all, I should tell my experience in my life, that what I have faced and why I understand that yes, upgrading in different platforms, different tools, different technologies are very, very important. Why? When I joined in 2004, I'm basically, my whole journey is as an entrepreneur. So when I joined, Star Computer Systems Limited is basically an old company. It started in 1991. However, I joined in 2004. And when I joined in this company, I found all the legacy tools and technology like VB, and the database are very much outdated, like Access and all. So what I found first in my own company, that yes, we need to upgrade ourselves, we need to upgrade our resources, we need to hire new resources, those who can basically upgrade others and upgrade my products, create and develop new products. So that was my main challenge. And for that, basically, I had to work really hard and basically to train existing employees, and also hire new employees, and do R&D and research for new product, new services, how to make it scalable. The technology wise, and whenever a resource, whenever we upgraded our resource, we always, in technology industry, we always think about that, yes, we have to be upgraded. So that mentality, first of all, we have to be in our mind, that definitely whenever I was a student, I knew I learned C++, Java, C#, and all. But now basically, for upgrading myself also, now I don't work as a coder, definitely. However, I have to understand, because as I am managing a software development company, and definitely we also do outsourcing. So we need to understand, I need to know that what exactly we need. Upgrading resources and developing our new resources are main challenges. And Mustain Bhai is very much right that yes, we the main challenges he has already problem statement is that we are we are creating resources on C# or Java and other. Definitely, I'm not. We also need those languages, but new languages like Golang, and we need people for DevOps and other technologies. Platforms are very, very important. Also, we need people for resources for AWS and other cloud-based technology as well. So for that, I think that this kind of bootcamp will work really, really good. And also one thing is I would appreciate it. I would request basically that we need trainers. I mean, good trainers also in Bangladesh, so that we can basically create more resources and also include. Academia is also with us. That is fantastic bridging. The combination of this event is very good. So this is important that we also need to add the upgraded technology to our universities, and so that we can basically, after the, we can easily train and orientate the freshers easily, and then take them in the industry directly, and it will help us. And for my part, I think that I can really give some inputs. Maybe we'll try to give some inputs in this whole boot camp. I'm a basically person, as I have already told, that yes, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm from a tech background, and I like to work with business process, quality assurance, quality control, this kind of thing. So I would definitely like to give my knowledge, maybe in this field. Maybe. Thank you very much from my part. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rajana Khan, for your wonderful speech. We are almost at the end of our program. So now, dear students, if you have any questions, so please raise your hand and unmute your audio and just freely talk to us. So the floor is now open for our students. So dear students, if you have any questions, you can freely ask to our professor, Mr. Todd, or Ariel Ferdman, or our copyright registrar. Anyone, please.
We could go through. There's some. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Todd. Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
We could go through these questions. A few questions came through on the chat, Mahamudur did one of my classes. Excited you did my class. Good for you. Is it possible to use Go for AI? It's not the industry standard yet, right? But it is possible, and there's some stuff out there. And Ariel linked an article here, so you could take a look at that article. Ariel, awesome, thank you. We can see everyone is learning and using Python and JavaScript nowadays. Can you please tell us why Go is better than Python or JavaScript? Well, it's not necessarily better than, worse than. It's right tool for job. And you might want to have a big 4-wheel drive truck if you're going to go driving off-road. You might want a tractor if you're going to plow a field. You might want an airplane if you need to go fast between great distances. And you might want a sports car for a very nice night out on the town, or a convertible. So you have different vehicles for different purposes. And Python and JavaScript have their place in the ecosystem. But also you want to think about, how do I differentiate myself? And Python and JavaScript are being widely learned and widely used. And a lot of people know them. Go is up and coming, and it's not as widely known in terms of people knowing how to do it. And so if you know how to use Go, you're differentiating yourself and you're distinguishing yourself in the marketplace. Python developer, JavaScript developer, dime a dozen. We need somebody who knows Go. Where's somebody who knows Go? Help me find somebody who knows Go, right? That's more the case today. And the last thing I'll say about that is Bill Gates said that if you want to be successful, get in front of what's coming. If you want to be successful, this is from Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. If you want to be successful, get in front of what's coming and let it hit you. And so Go is definitely one of these things that's coming. And so, good to learn it for those reasons. And you'll also be able to do fine and prosper with Python and JavaScript, but I heard Go is mostly suitable for large systems. How is the Go ecosystem for small to medium projects and in freelancing? So Go is highly scalable, which makes it ideal for large systems. It's also highly efficient, both in writing the code and in running the code. It's a very efficient language. And so it's more cost effective because you need less servers. It scales easier because you need less servers. And it's also, while it is really great for large, what was the phrase, large systems, why it's very great for doing what YouTube does or doing what what Google does, those same efficiencies are also beneficial at the small level. It isn't as like, you know, push a button and magically you've deployed a bunch of code as like Ruby on Rails might be, you know, where a lot of stuff is just already kind of done for you. But they do have frameworks out there for like doing web work. And once you understand the language for what you're using it for, you could be pretty quick with it. And you could find a lot of pre-written code and a lot of libraries to pull in. So it's fine for smaller projects. It can be at times a little bit more complicated than stuff like Ruby on Rails in terms of you have to get down into the intricacies, but that gives you more flexibility. So you always have trade-offs. And it totally works for small projects once you kind of understand how you're doing. You can easily connect to a database. You can easily do CRUD operations, which is creating records, reading records, updating records, deleting records, right? Which is like the backbone of 80% of the work you're going to run into is like, I need to be able to log users in, remember their username and password, store that in a database, pull records out of a database, and Go does all that quickly. So problem solving is love. What are the beauty in the Go language? So it's ease of programming. It's easy language to code in, and it's really highly efficient. So those are some of the best things about the language. Are we going to build some real world projects in this boot camp? I'll leave that question for you, Mustaine.
Yeah, we are going to build a real life projects. Yes, we do.
Okay. So if anybody else has questions, feel free to stick them into the chat, or you could ask them in person.
And another student asks, which database is mostly used with Golang?
So again, I would direct you, and this is just a good resource, is that Stack Overflow Developer Survey. You could Google Stack Overflow Developer Survey, and you could see what are the popular technologies. And so Go will connect with, you know, any database, whether structured or unstructured, SQL or NoSQL. And, you know, the most popular databases right now, Mustaine and I were looking at this the other day, actually, as I think MySQL is leading 60% and
67%.
Was it 67? And
yeah.
Then behind that was Postgres. And
yeah,
so,
Postgres. Yeah.
Yeah, both of those are good choices. And what about job opportunities for Go in Bangladesh? Also in the world rather than freelancing. I don't know about job opportunities in Bangladesh for Go, but I do know that if you really learn something and are a master of something and you devote yourself to something and you know it and you're black belt at it, industry doesn't care who you are, where you're from, what diploma you have. They need somebody who could fight code battles, code wars, and go in and figure stuff out and make things happen and get them done. And if you become that ninja master with coding in Go, you will find opportunities and opportunities will find you. You know, so if you just like take a year or two of your life and say, I'm going to learn this language better than 90%, 95% of the people that are out there, it's not unheard of nor uncommon for that to be recognized. And for, you know, people in other countries, you know, and then you start going to conferences and you start meeting people and you meet people like Bill Kennedy and, you know, and then, you know, you start contributing to some project and then somebody's like, this guy's whip crack smart or this gal's whip crack smart. We got to get her over here. And that's kind of how that happens. And then those people have the resources to facilitate such things and you get work.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. So Ariel Farman, now I'm going back to you. So Ariel, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is to you. I know you are a good developer. You know how to code well. So can you suggest us what would be your, what would be your advice for doing well in programming for a newbie programmer, especially in Golang? So what would be your suggestion?
Yeah,
Mr. Bill, just I have also a question or suggestion to Mr. Ferdman. would you please share your personal experience about Golang so that we could learn from you, and our students also could be get a cheer up. So we want to share your experience.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I would love to answer both questions, but I just want to say one thing. You know, we live in a world now that there's an explosion of information, and information is so easily accessible. Everybody that has a computer, you don't even need a computer. You can have just a smartphone, and you can have all the information you like for every programming language. You know, you can learn. I remember when I started learning programming, I was around the age of 7. I found on my big brother's computer, didn't even have a computer of my own, I found this program called Golang Turbo Pascal, and it had a small manual. There was no internet back then. And I was 7, and I learned, and I programmed in a couple of months. I programmed the game, Pong game, in this language just by reading that manual. So it was when information was, thanks, Todd. It was when information was much less accessible. Today, you have Udemy, you have Coursera, you have Udacity, you have an endless amount, you have Stack Overflow. You have an endless amount of information. And I want to say something about Mostain specifically, and about the initiative of this bootcamp. I think from my experience, and excuse me for addressing this matter first, I will answer both questions afterward. From my experience in the real world, the most important skills, many people can code. Many people. You can find many people around the world that can code in almost any language. But skills that are more rare are people skills, communication skills, being able to manage people, being able to work together with people, to cooperate. And that is something that I from my personal knowledge, personal experience with Mostain, he is especially good at. And just look at this event that he organized and brought up. You know, you need some serious multi-personal skills to make something like this happen. He brought people from practically all over the world to help you guys, to guide you. And if I was a student now looking for a place to learn, this would be the place that I would pick. And I'm not saying it because Mostain is my friend. I could just answer the questions I've been asked and not mention it, but I really believe it, because this is the added value. When you want to learn something, you look for the added value, because you can get value everywhere, but the added value is sometimes what makes the difference. So Mostain is very real world oriented. I smiled when I saw the question on chat, will there be real life projects? Because I know that this is exactly what Mostain believes in. And to answer your question, Mostain, and also Jafar Raja Chaudhry question, my personal experience with Go is not that deep. I consider myself a pretty novice Go programmer, but I have extensive experience, first of all, in programming in general, and also working with customers and doing real life projects. Also, I have a passion for learning and rapid learning, and I develop systems. One of my own projects, my own startup ideas that I currently develop is groundbreaking, I would say, learning system, which basically is, if you look around the internet today, and you see sites like Code Wars that give you challenges, Exorcism, you see that a lot of the coding challenges that teach you how to program are focused around algorithms, which is okay, it's important. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's kind of I consider it a bit of an old world thinking and not so suitable, I think, for our modern times. Today, things that are much more productive for people who want to get down to business quickly is how to do simple tasks. So when I want to, if I would want to increase my proficiency level in a programming language that is new to me now, for example, Go, I would go through a series of exercises that achieve something real, that help me in some way. So it might be a small script that knows how to load the browser to the web page that I want just from a command from the command line. It can be something that reads or writes to files, something that can make a backup to a website I'm working on for a client, or something that can even do some kind of a deployment to the website. So this, from my experience, setting these small goals which are pragmatical and which achieve something real and not just solve some theoretical problem is the fastest way to achieve mastery in a language. And I know that Mostahin thinks this way as well. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ariel. So Ariel and Todd, let me share you the overview of our campaign. How many students we have in this boot camp? So we have already 1,300 plus students enrolled in our program. 1,300. Yeah. See, our students are crazy. They learn to, they're welcoming Go language as their primary language, you know, they're excited about Golang. So yeah, so there is a lot of opportunity in future. So we can make our own product using Golang. So we can start our own business. Maybe we could be our, we could make our next Microsoft or next Google like company, right? This is a possibilities for us, right? So yeah, so and beside this, you know, almost more than 60 plus university from around the country, across the country, have joined in our program, in our boot camp. So they have almost 60% of the students are graduated from the university level. So yeah, and 30% of the students from the junior high school, you know, the high school. Okay, so this was the overview of our boot camp. So the student shows their tremendous excitement about the Golang boot camp. So we would like to continue this kind of activity in future, of course, with the guide of Todd MacLeod, Ariel Ferdman, Mr. Talal Rahman, Jafar Raja Chaudhuri sir, Dr. Soyed Akhtar Hossain sir, Rejona Khan Appa. So we will come up with you again after the successful boot camp. Then we will think about it, how we could even do more better. So how we could find new jobs for our students. Okay, so how we could employ them, how we could deploy them to the global community. So this would be our next step. So hopefully by the end of this boot camp, we will come up with those ideas. And if Todd MacLeod, Ariel Ferdman help me, I believe we would become more successful in this journey. So Todd, thank you very much for your time and your collaborations. Ariel Ferdman, thank you for your time and you joined us. We are really happy and glad. Thank you, Mr. Jafar Raja Chaudhuri, for your contribution to make this event successful. So, Mr. Jafar Raja Chaudhuri, sir, I'm going over you. So, if you want to say something, and please open our boot camp and say something to our students, please.
Thank you, Russell. Really, this was wonderful opportunity and great honor to say something in presence of such learned person like Mr. Todd, like Professor Syed Akhtar, Professor Dr. Talal Rahman, and all of the person engaged here. They are very much educated, especially in this sector, definitely than me. Even the students who are waiting to learn this technique. However, I extended my sincere thanks and gratitude to Professor Todd, Ariel Fardband, and Professor Dr. Talal, Professor Akhtar, and all other persons who come here and join with us and contribute their comments, opinions in this event. I actually extended my sincere gratitude to all of you, especially to Master Academy and its faculty, for their cordial and excellent support to make our venture become true. I wish the best success of this training program. Thank you, dear listener. Thank you all.
Okay, so we are at the end of our program. Thank you all for joining us and for your time. So thank you, Todd McLeod, for your time. I know you are very busy. You are going through a hard time, but still you giving us a lot of time. We are really glad for this. Thank you, Ariel Fardman. So you are also working hard and doing great. So, and thank you for Rejwana Appa, Dr. Soed Akhtar Hussain sir, Professor Talal Rahman, and other guests as well. So, okay, so hopefully we will meet up again after the successful program at the ceremony, at the certificate giving ceremony. Maybe it would be happen by March, end of the March or first week of the April. So, sir, do you want to say something, or we should end it now?
Yes, I think I should share, or you should share a few words in Bangla, in our mother tongue, so the students could feel easy or comfortable and get trust that it would be easier to learn the difficult language.
স্যার আমরা একদম শেষ পর্যায়ে, সো বেটার আপনি বলে এটাকে উদ্বোধন ঘোষণা করে শেষ করে দেন, দ্যাট উড বি বেটার।
Okay, Mr. Todd and Ariel Fardman, since all of the students are from our country, so I would love to inaugurate it in my mother tongue, if you kindly allow. Thank you. সত্যিকার ভাবে বলতে গেলে এটা আমাদের জন্য একটা বিশেষ অপরচুনিটি যে আমরা আমাদের নিজের ভাষায় আমরা একটা বিশেষ টেকনিক আমরা শিখতে পারবো। এই সুযোগটা কিন্তু একটা অসাধারণ একটা সৌভাগ্যের বিষয় বলে আমি মনে করি। তো এই বিষয়টার সাথে আমি আপনাদেরকে বলতে চাই যে সকল স্কিল, নলেজ, এক্সপেরিয়েন্স, টেকনিক গুলোর সাথে সচরাচর ইনকাম বা প্রফিটের বিষয় জড়িত থাকে, সেগুলো সাধারণত মানুষ এটা শেয়ার করতে চায় না, কিন্তু আমরা ব্যতিক্রম দেখেছি। আমি স্পেশালি বিল রাসেলের ক্ষেত্রে, কারণ তিনি তার অভিজ্ঞতা এবং অর্জিত যে জ্ঞান, দক্ষতা, এটা সবার মাঝে ছড়িয়ে দিতে চান, সবার কাছে পৌঁছে দিতে চান। কারণ তিনি মনে করেন একটা জ্ঞানের প্রদীপের আলো শত সহস্র প্রদীপে যখন সঞ্চারিত হয়, তখনই প্রকৃত যে বিশ্ব আলোকিত হয়, দেশ আলোকিত হয়, সমাজ আলোকিত হয়। তো এই জন্য বিল রাসেলের যে তার যে আগ্রহ উদ্যোগেই আমরা আসলে বাংলাদেশ সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে বাংলাদেশ কপিরাইট অফিস যে জয়েন্টলি এই প্রোগ্রামের আয়োজনে আমরা শরিক হয়েছি। However, আমি বিল রাসেলকে এবং তার যে প্রতিষ্ঠানকে আন্তরিকভাবে ধন্যবাদ এবং কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাচ্ছি এই প্রোগ্রাম আয়োজনের জন্য, এবং এই প্রোগ্রামের শুভ উদ্বোধন ঘোষণা করছি। পাশাপাশি তাকে সংক্ষিপ্তভাবে বাংলায় যে আপনার যে প্রোগ্রামটা আগামীকালের যে প্রোগ্রাম হবে কিভাবে কি হবে সেটা খুব সংক্ষিপ্তভাবে এটা রেজ করার জন্য।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার আমাকে সুযোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। আমি সব স্টুডেন্টদেরকে আমাদের এই কোডিং বুট ক্যাম্পের উদ্বোধনী অনুষ্ঠানে স্বাগতম জানিয়ে আমার শেষ বক্তব্য পেশ করছি। আগামীকাল সকাল 10টায় আমরা বরাবরের মতোই আমাদের প্রি রেকর্ডেড ইউটিউব ভিডিও পাবলিশ করব সকাল 10টায়। ঠিক রাত 8টায় এই ভিডিওর উপর যাদের কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকবে বা কোনো প্রবলেম থাকবে তারা সেই প্রবলেম এবং কোশ্চেন নিয়ে আপনারা রাত 8টায় আমাদের ইউটিউব লাইভ সেশনে জয়েন করবেন। আপনাদের যদি কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকে ওই প্রি রেকর্ডেড ভিডিওর উপরে সেগুলো আমাদেরকে কোশ্চেন করবেন, আমরা সেগুলো আনসারের মাধ্যমে লাইভ সেশনটা 1 ঘন্টা 10 মিনিটের একটা লাইভ সেশন থাকবে, সেটাকে আমরা শেষ করব। এরপরেও যদি কারো কোনো সমস্যা থাকে আমাদের ফেসবুক একটি গ্রুপ আছে, সেই গ্রুপে সবাইকে স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। আমাদের গ্রুপের নাম হচ্ছে কোডিং বুট ক্যাম্প বিডি। ফেসবুকে গিয়ে এটা সার্চ করলে পেয়ে যাবেন। এখানে জয়েন করলে আমরা আপনাদের যদি কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে, আমাদেরকে যদি লাইভ ক্লাসে রিচ করতে নাও পারেন, সেখানে গিয়ে একটা পোস্ট দেওয়ার মাধ্যমে আপনারা আমাদের কাছে রিচ আউট করতে পারেন এবং আমরা সেগুলো সমাধান করব। If I am not unable to address your problem, then I would ask help from Mr. Todd McLeod and Ariel Hardman regarding this. So আমার মনে হয় না সেটা কোনো সমস্যা হবে। সুতরাং আমি এই আজকের এই উদ্বোধনী অনুষ্ঠানের মাধ্যমে সবাইকে আন্তরিকভাবে আমাদের এই বুট ক্যাম্পে জয়েন করে এটাকে একটা ক্যারিয়ারের চেঞ্জ ইভেন্ট হিসেবে মনে করে সেইভাবে প্রোগ্রামিং করার জন্য উদাত্ত আহ্বান রেখে আজকের মতো আমি এখানেই শেষ করে দিচ্ছি। সো থ্যাংক ইউ টড, থ্যাংক ইউ এরিয়াল, থ্যাংক ইউ রেজওয়ানা আপা, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার আক্তার স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ ডক্টর তালাল রহমান, and thank you all of our honorable guests, and thank you dear students. So we are ending this event. So
one more thing to add.
Yeah, please.
So I just posted this in the chat, but when anybody has questions in Go, and this is also a wonderful place to network, there's something called the Golang Bridge Forum, and the Golang Bridge is the bridge to bring everybody in the world to Golang. And so it's an organization that was created to help people learn the Go programming language. And it's one of the wonderful things about Go. It's a wonderful, embracing, loving, helpful community by design. Like that's built into the language, and you'll find this as you get into the language. It's built into the language to be inclusive, accepting, helpful, the spirit of camaraderie, a good attitude, everything that the one gentleman was mentioning, you know, that soft skills that are so important. So when you have questions, you could go to the Golang Bridge Forum, and some of the foremost experts in the world on Go hang out there, including some of the people who helped create the language at Google. And so as you're learning and making questions and having questions answered, and then eventually helping answer questions, you'll make friends on there, you'll connect, and you'll start to network. And this is also how you find employment. People see that you're a good person, they like you, and then they're like, work with me on a project. So make sure you go to that Golang Bridge Forum when you have questions.
Okay, Todd. So yeah, so we are at the end of our program. Thank you everybody for joining us, and wish you all best of luck. And for today, bye-bye.
Bye.
Go get them.